everyone, this is PK Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're quickly going to talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and the fact that its sequel has now been delayed to 2025 for release. Now the news broke recently on Monday the 24th of October 2023, and the 8th and presumably final Mission Impossible movie was postponed to be released now on May the 23rd 2025. Now I believe already around 20% of the movie had been shot. The whole process was a back-to-back production following Dead Reckoning Part 1, and production was halted due to the Screen Actors Guild strike, which is still ongoing despite the Writers Guild recently coming to an agreement over their proposals. Now the other big revelation here was that this latest instalment will no longer be named Dead Reckoning Part 2, despite the fact that it will very much conclude where the story was left off from Part 1. Now overall I felt this was quite interesting news. On the one hand, the delay makes sense, given the ongoing actor strike. Now whilst we would assume that the strike would be concluded by next year, but of course every time that the strike continues, the more it affects and delays production. So to push back to 2025 just gives a bit more breathing room, and they have a lot more time now to work on things and make sure that everything is right within film. To be fair, I think a lot of this move is from the fact that actor Tom Cruise and Paramount were very burned and caught off guard by Dead Reckoning Part 1's box office underperformance, which despite very good reviews and audience reception, it only managed to gross $567.5 million off a massive $291 million budget, very much continuing the trend of over-budgeted blockbusters failing to deliver in 2023. And I think overall it was a shame, because I enjoyed the movie quite a lot, and you can check out my review on this channel and I'll leave a link with it in the description. Despite some issues in terms of the runtime and the concept behind the AI, I really found Part 1 to be very entertaining, and most of the cast of actors were very good in their performances, and it was probably amongst this year's best summer blockbusters alongside Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And Dead Reckoning was hoped up to be one of 2023's biggest successes, but I think that they did force the release schedule, releasing it in midweek as opposed to a weekend, as they were trying to capitalise on the IMAX screenings, and they were also probably aware of the pending writers' strike and wanted to release the movie as quickly as possible in order to promote it. Then of course came the Barbenheimer phenomenon, the joint release of both Barbie and Oppenheimer, which came a week later after the release of Dead Reckoning. And I'll still maintain that, like most fans, Tom Cruise and Paramount didn't expect both films to be as massive as what they were. On paper, Dead Reckoning was much more of a box office viable movie than both Barbie and Oppenheimer. But nobody anticipated the social media campaign of Barbenheimer, and maybe it was because that both movies were new entities, whereas Dead Reckoning Part 1 was yet another Mission Impossible sequel. And given the fact that we had 6 movies already, Barbenheimer perhaps had much more of that fresh novelty about it amongst audiences. So perhaps the producers and Tom Cruise just want to give themselves a bit more of an advantage this time by delaying to 2025 and seeing what the competition could be like, which possibly could be the likes of Superman Legacy. So it just seems a logical decision, as a lot of effort goes into these Mission Impossible movies, as what can clearly be seen on screen. And I think they just want to make sure that Mission Impossible 8, whatever the title is an overall success. And pushing it back to 2025, where surely the actors' strike will be over, will give the movie much more bigger chance of success. Now the only other question is whether audiences will be prepared to wait 2 years or so for this movie to come out, especially when the movie, if not a cliffhanger, certainly left some dangling threads in order to complete its overall story. But again, I think this will be down to the marketers to make sure that they ramp up the interest in the film, and I think this time there will need to be much more emphasis on the actual story as opposed to just Tom Cruise doing all of these crazy stunts. But it will be interesting to see how well Mission Impossible 8 performs when it comes out in the summer of 2025. I do have a strong feeling, as long as they build up the marketing right and don't necessarily force the release schedules, that this sequel, whatever it's set to be called, will probably be a bigger success than what we saw with Dead Reckoning Part 1. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings on a recent announcement that Mission Impossible 8 will now be moved to 2025 for release under a new title. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any other breaking topics or news or movies or television series that you'd like to see me cover within this channel, then also let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on those topics within the future. Please consider hitting like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.